Hello there fabric jugglers, it's Babs here from Fiery Phoenix, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to use the gathering foot. Now this is one of the 32 feet set that I was talking about earlier in this series, and this particular foot has a slot here for attaching a straight piece of fabric. It has a hole that you need to ensure the thread goes through, and it ruffles in the space behind the toe of the foot plate. Now this is not a clip-on foot, it is a low shank foot, which means you do need to undo the screw to reattach it. I have already shown this process in the walking foot tutorial, although if that's not clear for you, please let me know in the comments below and I'll record a separate tutorial on how to change this particular style of foot. Now in this tutorial I'm going to take you through the process to create a ruffle effect on your fabric. This works best on lightweight fabrics, and also how to attach a ruffle to a single flat piece of fabric in one simple step. So we don't need to ruffle it first and then sew it to the fabric. We can do two in one. And also I'm going to be showing you the added bonus of how to create pre-ruffled ribbons for you to use as embellishments on your projects. So I hope you'll stick around and watch the rest of this video. So now that we've got our gathering foot on to the sewing machine, there are two things you need to make sure that you've got sorted out. Firstly, we need to make sure that the thread actually runs through the hole in the bottom of the base plate of the foot, and secondly we need to make sure that our length is a nice long stitch. I've used a 4, and we need to increase the tension because that's what gives us the gather. I'm running at a 7 at the moment. If you want an incredibly tight gather, push that up to a 9, but have an experiment, play around for yourself, and I'll just run a sample through and you can see what the gathering effect is. So keeping the threads tight at the back, here we go with the gathering. And here we have a beautifully gathered little run of fabric. So to run through the process of attaching a ruffle to a separate flat piece of fabric, I have my ruffle fabric, which is going to go right side up underneath the presser foot. Turn that on. And I also then have a straight piece of fabric, which is going to go face down, but it's going to slide through the little slot at the presser foot here. This will allow the ruffling to take place underneath and will actually be attaching to the top. So being jersey, it does tend to have a mind of its own when I try to ruffle this, but we will go ahead and see what happens. I will do my best for you all. Now we don't pin the fabric together for the simple reason that if we pinned, the ruffle wouldn't take place. So we just need to guide the top and the bottom and see where we get to. So as you can see, the bottom fabric is gathering, but the top fabric is still running in a straight line. So I will continue doing this process. I find it useful to pull the top fabric to the right slightly as I sew, just to make sure that the two fabrics do stay aligned. And again, if the ruffle fabric is starting to move off, I tug that down to the left. So we're basically pulling them in opposite directions, which, whilst it sounds a bit odd, keeps them aligned. So we'll continue on. And here you can see the ruffling, and here we can see the top side, and this is the effect where we have both the ruffling and the flat fabric attached at the same time. This is perfect for dresses, skirts with a yoke, and it's much easier to do if you're using lightweight cotton or pretty much any fabric other than a jersey, which is what for some reason I've decided to use for this tutorial. But as you can see, the effects are really quite stunning for a one-step process. So I strongly advise you to have a good old practice and test with this foot if you happen to have it. One other bonus, of course, is that you can also use this to gather or pre-gather your ribbons. So if you want to have an embellishment using a ribbon that has been already ruffled or gathered, you can run this through to achieve that result without having to buy a pre-ruffled ribbon. Very simple process with many, many applications.
And here we have our ruffled ribbon.
So I really hope the tutorial on the gathering foot was of use to some of you. I'd love to see some of your projects using this process. I will also be putting up a tutorial in the next couple of weeks which will show you how to make a ruffled skirt. So this will be at least a 3-tier skirt for an adult or a child. You'll be able to measure it to your own dimensions, which means that it will become a tailor-fitted skirt just for you. There'll be a free pattern for you to download that will accompany this tutorial, but you will definitely need to be using these techniques, so it's worth having a practice first so that you're all ready to go when that tutorial comes out. Now I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up. I always like new subscribers. It's always great to know that what I'm doing is working for people, so please share this around with anyone who hasn't seen the series yet or hasn't seen the channel yet, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.